there, and welcome to the Latin America Fintech Rankings report powered by Mambu. Today, we're going to be looking at the impact that fintech has had on the Latin America region's fintech ecosystems. We'll be talking to Ari Gonzalez, the regional marketing director for Latin America from Mambu. We'll also be hearing from JuanchoTePresta, the founder there, a Colombia-based fintech who's focusing on lending to women and driving financial inclusion in Colombia. And we'll also be taking a little look at some of the key points from this first Latin America region fintech rankings report. First of all, though, let's hear from Ari Gonzalez. Ari is Mambu's Latin America marketing director. And we'll be talking with her about how fintech adoption has accelerated across the region since 2019 and how the pandemic has fueled take-up and had real economy impact. And in fact, the dramatic effect that the region's fintech firms have had on financial inclusion, as you'll be hearing, perhaps more so in Latin America than on any other region globally.
Well, thank you, Simon, for having us today. But if I have to say one word or summarize in one word, I would say growth. It has been a completely growth story. And just for that, I'm going to give you a few interesting numbers. So, for example, if we go back to 2018, the Inter-American Development Bank reported 1,100 plus fintechs, while in 2021, Statista.com reported 2,300. So that means that we only double the number of fintechs in only 3 years, right? Another interesting factor is in Latin America, by February 2022, we have 42 unicorns. 5 out of the 6 key markets in the region are placed in the top 50 in the fintech rankings, and we have Brazil outpaced at number 14. So I think in terms of the size, obviously the growth is there, but I think that it's also in the level of sophistication that we have seen. And what happens is that level of sophistication are bringing because of the consumer stickiness, and the venture capitalists are noticing that. So if we want to go back in 2021, the venture capitalist fund invested more than 15 billion in the region, which is over 3 times more that happens in 2020. So, and another important factor, SoftBank itself has a dedicated fund to invest in LatAm. So honestly, I don't think that this growth story is going to stop anytime soon. Well, fintechs were able to solve 2 fundamental problems. One is enable financial inclusion and improve the customer experience. Briefly, in the case of Mambu, our mission is to provide better financial experiences around the world. And we notice that in Latin America, we have the lowest level of formal financial inclusion when we compare it to the other regions. So in the region, I think that the fintechs came at the right time, at the right moment, right? The smartphone penetration was very healthy in the lower income segments of the population, and they really capitalized on that opportunity. So definitely the fintechs understood what are the needs of this segment. They start offering access to simple products to test their appetite and adoption. So what happens is that they got their Pandora box. They understand the needs. They know that the people really adopt those simple products, and they were enjoying. So now with all this data that they captured, they were able to expand the product offering. And since they operate with a very low cost infrastructure and use an agile methodology, they provide the speed and scalability to grow and change. One interesting case we can say is Voila in Argentina, right? They already bought a licensed banking institution in Mexico. And it's just, as I said, it's not just the level of sophistication, but it's also how they're growing geographically. I believe that there are 2 key factors, and it would be changing the mindset of the institutions and using the right technology. Mambu's cloud-native digital banking platform serves as the logical solution to position financial institutions of sizes to enable flexibility and agility to meet, excuse me, the changes and growing demands of the customers of today, tomorrow, and the future. So what we do is we enable a high operating a high velocity operating model. And through the APIs, we bring together the best of breed in partners to create a technology ecosystem that works best for that organization. I think it's very safe to say that innovation can drive inclusion and ultimately economic growth. But for that also, we identify that the C-levels need to make some changes in the way that they think and act. It has to be different. We got to go from open banking to open finance to an open economy.
A big part of the Latin America fintech story over the last 2 years in particular has been around financial inclusion and the dramatic impact that fintech has had on bringing in new customers into the marketplace and into the formal financial system. One of the key players in this space in Colombia is a company by the name of JuanchoTePresta. Here we're talking to Juan Saldarriaga, the CEO and co-founder, to really look at how a rapidly scaling company has built a business model that's not only focused on financial inclusion, but also targeting women customers. And here you'll hear how a seemingly unusual business model is gaining traction, but ultimately built on very solid credit principles. Let's hear from Juan here now.
Yes, JuanchoTePresta is one of the first online lenders in Colombia doing installment loans longer than 1 year. And we got started because of a previous experience with Rappi Credit, which is one of the first and biggest online lenders in Colombia. And we have developed a product specifically targeting women. We don't believe in gender equality when we do lending. Women pay better. And we have defined our strategy around solving women's needs and helping them throughout their life. And that's how JuanchoTePresta was born 3 years ago. So our way of tackling the problem was we wanted to give women better terms. So in that gender bias that we created, women have better terms in terms of a lower installment, giving their lower risk. And the biggest challenge has been, how do I keep communicating to both men and women in a neutral way, but still attract more women than men, and have a web page and an application process that is not gender biased, but that we are trying to bring in more women. So that has been a challenge throughout this 2-3 years of startup process here in Colombia. Our success metrics basically started with unique visitors to our webpage. Last year we had more than 1 million visitors to our webpage. Then we are tracking loans disbursed, and we have disbursed more than $5 million of loans, 60% of them to women. And the final metric we're using is our people, and in this case, all our customers, including women, are they applying for second loans? And that has been our latest metric on how much second loans, even third loans now, that our customers are coming back and asking. So we focus on recurrency of loans, but we're also asking our customers if they were happy with the process and the loan, and would they recommend us to other customers. And our net promoter scores are above 90%. So we're very happy with our metrics and the traction the product is having. Now our challenge is developing bigger loans, longer tenures, and embedding our loans into retail and partnerships so that people, and women especially, can have loans that actually are for a good purpose. And that purpose is for, developing progress, their lifestyle, their health, their mobility, their education, and the access to technology. So our roadmap for the next 2 years has two big strategies. One is to embed our products into retail with a buy now, pay later solution, both in physical stores and e-wallets and checkout software, payment processors. And the second strategy, probably a little bit more middle term, would be to develop Juancho in other countries in LatAm. And that's basically our roadmap. The other challenge is being a good investment vehicle for people that want to invest in alternative assets. And in our loan book is behaving quite well. Our days past due and NPLs are much better than the industry as a whole. So in that sense, we think we have a good underwriting process and a good product fit.
Welcome to the Latin America Fintech Region Rankings and a highlight and a snapshot of the rankings report that we're launching this month, powered by Mambu. We called the report "We Have Liftoff," and as you'll see as you read through the research, hopefully, quite why we've called it that. There's no doubt about it that fintech across the region over the last 2 years has had a monumental impact on financial inclusion and as a result also delivered real economy benefits. But competition in terms of the level of fintech ecosystems across the region has also had its impact. Brazil regionally is the leader when it comes to fintech ecosystems across Latin America and the Caribbean. But there are 50 new fintech hubs formed globally over the course of 2021. And as you can see in the chart on the right, that's had an impact on how competitive some of the fintech ecosystems across the region are. Globally, fintech competition is increasing, but regional success is also putting new hubs on the map. And we've seen some really exciting developments in the form of not just Ecuador or Venezuela, Costa Rica, but in the sense of smaller countries like Uruguay, where we've really starting to see that fintech is having a grassroots impact. In summary, we've seen 5 new city hubs develop in Latin America over the last year. 3 have climbed the rankings, and 4 countries now across the region are home to more than 1 cluster. But as we said, competition is having its toll, and only 6 hubs currently in the region make the top 100 global hubs. For the second year in a row, Brazil is the regional giant. It's now home to 7 hubs. Mexico and Colombia are the next closest contenders. Each of those countries have 3 ecosystem hubs between them. But Uruguay is really just a proof of just how entrenched fintech is becoming in the region and its importance in terms of enabling digital economic development. Uruguay was home now to one of the region's first unicorns, and just proof of really what's happening at the grassroots level. In summary, as you'll see as you read through the report, what's really exciting is that fintech is proving the reason for its existence far and wide across Latin America and the Caribbean. It's really genuinely making a difference. It's accelerating financial inclusion, but it's also causing, or enabling rather, real economy benefits in the sense of more entrepreneurship, more inclusion, which is also breeding into the wider digital economy. It's paying dividends because that inclusion is obviously helping economic growth, but it's also driving adoption of financial services, which in turn is inspiring and incentivizing other business models and other products and services. And if you've got any doubt as to the scale of some of the success, our unicorn tracker, which we run on a monthly basis, has just sort of shown that over the course of the pandemic, there are now 10 times the number of high-value unicorn companies in Latin America than there were in 2019. And unsurprisingly, as a result, the investor community globally is starting to pay attention. As you'll hear from Ari Gonzalez at Mambu, SoftBank has a Latin America fund, the only dedicated region where it has a fund. We've seen the increase in venture investment into the sector grow 5 times during the course of the pandemic, to the point that now in 2020, at the end of 2021, nearly 5% of all venture capital invested in the sector goes into fintech firms in Latin America. I hope you'll download the report, take issue with it, come back to us with some findings of your own or insights, please respond to us. You can download it via the link on your screen now, but you can also join us at findexable.com and find it there. We'll be back with the next regional reports. We have the Gulf region coming up later in April this year, and we'll be shortly following that with a review of fintech across Europe. So until then, thanks for watching and enjoy the report.